Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday morning. Super glad that you're here. My name is Tyler, and I'm going to be helping navigating you through the wild world of day trading futures. Today is going to be a great day. If you're here for the first time, I'm really glad that you decided to join us this morning. We're going to be talking about order flow. We're going to talk about ICT concepts, order blocks, fair value gaps. We're going to be watching price action. We're going to be reading through all of that good stuff, so it's going to be a good time. If you're watching this after the fact, you can jump to the key markers using the chapter markers below the video. And lastly, if you are looking to take your trading to the next level and you are either wanting to save your money and not use your own personal account, but maybe use other people's money, you can use the code DTJ. DTJ will give you the most updated discount with Apex, and you can get their Apex evaluation accounts, 25K, 50K accounts, and you can use that code DTJ to get the most updated discount Apex is offering. With that, Matthew, we are just about to do morning prayer right now. So let's go ahead, open in prayer, and we will get started on the day. Father, we just honor and recognize your presence here with us. Father, we thank you that you are good and you are faithful. And Father, I just want to reemphasize and acknowledge that you are a good Father. You don't bring hardship. You don't bring negative things into our lives. You're a good Father. But Father, you've prepared us, and you said that you would go through all things with us. You would never leave us or forsake us. So Father, I just pray for your grace to be with us today. I pray that you would watch over us. You would give us wisdom beyond our age. You would give us supernatural wisdom. Help us understand the market. Give us insight. And I pray a blessing over everyone here this morning, Father, that they would find blessing and increase in everything they set their hands to. Father, your word says that your promises are yes and amen. So we say the amen in Jesus' name. Good morning, folks. Let's rock and roll this morning. Ricardo, good morning. Matthew, good morning. MR, good morning. Wilhelm, how you doing? Byron, good morning. Good luck to you, my friend. Ted, good morning. It's going to be a good day. Let's go ahead, and the first thing that I want to do is let's go over some higher time frame analysis. We have about 12 minutes before the market opens, so we got plenty of time. We're going to start from a daily perspective. We just had news come out. Let me pop that up on the screen here, and let me switch screens. I'm trying to do more of a different scenes, different screens for different things. So we got that going on. And let's screen share here. So here we have Wednesday morning. We just had the final wholesale inventories. This, from just my personal experience, not a lot of movement typically happens with this. Yet, what did we see happen? I mean, I don't know if you were on the charts, but that candle moved like 100 points. It moved like 100 points. So we got crude oil inventories at 9:30. That means I need to watch crude oil inventories at 9:30 because who knows, with all the Trump tariffs, that it has made the market really reactive. So we really need to be careful and pay attention. We got an FOMC speaker member is going to be speaking. 1 p.m. we got FOMC minutes. So that's going to be coming out at 2 p.m. today, or at 1 p.m. So that's what we got going on today. We'll see what happens here closer to 9:30, and that will give us some perspective. There. Let's go ahead and jump back to there. Okay. Let's jump up. Let's open up. There's nothing. Haven't taken any trades yet. So let's just drop down into the higher time frame narrative. Okay. So we have our previous day range. We got our previous day high and low already set. And then we got our midpoint. Okay. So if we're going to stay bearish, for a bearish narrative, I want to stay under the previous day's equilibrium. Okay. We're finding support on that weekly low right now. That, as you can see, yesterday closed above that. We reached down there and we're hovering right around here. So could we see lower or higher prices? Considering we've already ran the low, our range is, in my opinion, is anything here. It could be anywhere inside this range. I don't think we're going to hit previous day high. I just don't think we're going to do that quite yet. It makes more sense structurally, I think, to see lower prices. And with everybody thinking the market bottom is in, I think we still have some lower prices to go. Dropping to the lower time frame, the 4-hour. We have a 4-hour fair value gap sitting right here that we are in. So I would say if the 4-hour candle closes at 10 o'clock above this fair value gap, I will consider a bullish narrative. It doesn't mean I'm going long right away. It means I'm willing to consider a bullish narrative. So that's the 4-hour fair value gap that we have going on right there. We've swept this low, this green candle's low, and we have 38 minutes before that candle closes. If we drop down to the hourly time frame, again, we've found support at this hourly fair value gap, last hourly fair value gap there. Found support there. And then have moved higher. We have this low resistance liquidity sitting right there. To me, this is low resistance liquidity, swing highs, and little points of interest. All of those are going to be swing highs on the hourly time frame, or excuse me, on a lower time frame. So I do like the idea of running for London high. I do like that idea to run for London high. Dropping down to the 30-minute. We filled the last 30-minute fair value gap right here. Found support there. Also, that happened to be midnight open as well. And we've seen price move higher. We really haven't, on the 30-minute, from this expansion, we haven't ran or done anything. So have we really completed what has happened based on a 30-minute time frame? I don't think so. I think, well, we are at the new day opening gap currently and that weekly low. So potentially that could be resistance there. Down to the 15-minute time frame, we have a 15-minute fair value gap that we have not closed above yet. That's where we're finding resistance. So we have a 15-minute fair value gap. Currently, price has reached in there once, reached above it, closed in it twice, and we have 6 minutes left before this candle closes. There's our low resistance liquidity run, as I've mentioned, swing highs, all right here. I like those as a potential target. That also gives me this perspective right here, okay? So this is yesterday's price action. Beautiful move. We took a 100-point move here. I wish I had took more than one contract. I sold one. I wish I just held that sucker. Holy macaroni. That's 1,000 points. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? That day will come. That day will come. So I'm looking at this as resistance. Okay, this is also the same point where we find equilibrium of the previous day range. So I'm not going to be bullish unless we can get above this level here. It doesn't mean we can't push higher. It doesn't mean I can't take a trade to the upside. But as far as a higher time frame narrative, we have to get above previous day's equilibrium for me to consider that. I still do like a bullish move to the London high. It makes sense for that to happen. We have a breaker sitting right there. So I would like to see that. We'll see if that wants to play out. But that's kind of my perspective of price right now. I think we're going to need a little bit more. Dropping down to the 5-minute. This is all unmitigated right now. This is all unmitigated. So fair value gap after fair value gap. I think price could reach down into that before we move higher. So if I was to pick a level, I mean, honestly, this first fair value gap looks pretty good. It's right after an order block here. It could wick down into this, find support, and move higher. We got this candle's wick high. That's 745. That could find support there. Let's mark our opening range gap for today. And that's going to be right here. Right now it is a premium opening range gap depending on where we close. And then dropping down to the 1-minute time frame. As far as looking at structure, we've ran into the 4-hour, we've ran into the new day opening gap, we've ran into the weekly low, referenced that multiple times here, made a swing high, had a failure swing here, and now we're breaking below this mitigation block and potentially looking and running below this breaker here. I'm not a fan of the way this breaker looks simply because we got a lot. This was the news candle, so we got a lot of wicks and back and forth price action. I'm not a fan of taking this inversion to the upside here in 3 minutes because we have the new day opening gap all sitting right here. I like these relatively equal lows down here right below the 5-minute. So I'm liking price. I would like to see price reach down to the 5-minute first, and then if it wants to find support here, I would then be okay with it moving higher. But if it moves higher right off the bat, I'm not interested. I'm interested in seeing price reach for the 5-minute, sweep this liquidity, sweep the basically this data candles. It did on the 901 candle, but I want that to sweep that a little bit more. And then move higher. We'll see if we can find some structure for that. I don't like taking a breaker or an entry off this 5-minute. We don't have a 1-hour reversal model, so I don't want to take an entry based on that 5-minute. I'm just looking at structure at this point to see if an order flow to see if price wants to continue to move higher. So that's my analysis for this morning. Based on looking at the 930 model, I'm probably going to pass on the 930 model this morning based on how it looks and my rules for that. And we got 23 seconds till market opens, and then we will rock and roll. All right. There's our opening price. We have a really small opening range gap. When we have small opening range gaps, it could be a sign of a choppy morning. So we want to see what happens, and we want structure. We want As far as our trade protocol goes, we're looking for sweeps of key points of liquidity. We're not interested in taking minor liquidity points and taking trades off them. We want big points of liquidity. We want to know that we've hit a significant level. In my mind, those points right now is going to be London high. We could consider any of these swing highs as points, but because of how close they are to the London high, I don't think I would want to take a short with that. My preference right now is us to move lower and then move higher. If we can find support on this 5-minute, I would love to take a trade towards London high. This isn't a key liquidity point, but to me, we're looking at a manipulation first and then drawing towards the higher time frame target. London high is usually a point of interest. Now, if we don't get that retracement, I'm not sure I'm willing to jump in this trade and take it to London high, because it could just sweep this high and then run down, sweep this low, run high. We don't know. I don't know. So we're going to watch and see what happens with price. We can consider 659, this 1-minute fair value gap, if we really want to see if it closes above it, and see if that wants to be treated as an inversion. The only reason why I will not participate in that is that fair value gap is 89 handles. I'm not going to take a trade with an 80 handle stop loss. Good morning, everyone. Let's see what we got going on here. JB, good morning. Jayon, good morning. Ted, they are expanding the opening range now. 930 is a tough call. Yeah, I wasn't gonna take it. The opening range was too small. I like when the opening range is larger and it's clear. Gold is looking beautiful right now. Here's minor sell side, or here's minor buy side liquidity sitting right there. We just, is that 930, 931, 930? This is our first fair value gap that we've tagged. This can be an entry. It also is a breaker. That's not bad. That breaker is overlapping with that fair value gap, and we have minor liquidity and higher time frame liquidity. If I, no, I'm not going to say if I. I'm going to see how we react to this level. If we react to this multiple times and we find support here, I'll consider using this as a trade entry to London high, because we stopped right before this. Okay? I'm going to wait for the close of this candle. I don't want to catch a falling knife. Now it closed right on that breaker, but also right below the first fair value gap. That's questionable. It looks good. I'm just going to be a little patient here. I'm going to take that long now. Stop's going to be at the low. We have a breaker and the first fair value gap. We want to see that first fair value gap act as support. And that did not play out. So we're going to only one micro contract. I wasn't willing to take anything larger than that. The volatility is just large, and it still closed inside this first fair value gap. So this is probably going to play out in the direction that I wanted it to. But we just got wicked out. I'm not going to re-enter. I'm not going to re-engage it. I'm going to let it play out without me. All right, so there's the close below, hit our stop and closed lower. Stop saved us for even a bigger loss. That's just too large of a stop loss for me to want to carry. And if we're violating, finding support, finding support, this means we just need to sit out and wait. I really wanted to see if we could take a trade towards the low resistance liquidity that's all sitting right there. Because that's where it's going, as you guys can see right now. So there's sweep of minor buy side. We have London sitting right here. And as I expected, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. We had the direction correct. We just got stopped out. We had a 50-point stop loss. Got stopped out on a 50-point stop loss. You can't do anything about that. So that was a negative win for us today. Followed the rules, right analysis. Based on the breaker and that first fair value gap, we just had a one rogue candle run lower. Yeah, I did. I'm calling it. We have a negative win. Yeah, the manipulation, Byron. I mean, I had literally, it was a 50-point stop. I mean, I could have, so I got in on the 935 candle. And I got in when it was right around here. Because I wanted to see this candle close. I wanted to see it find support, close above it. And that's like, okay, that's confidence for me. We're respecting this first fair value gap a little sloppily, but also the breaker. And it was these two candles, 936 and 37, that really ran lower and basically sweeped our stop. That right there is 72 handles. So I would have had to have a 72 handle stop loss for this trade. That's just too large. I mean, 72 handles is profit. That's what I want to, I would love to make 70 handles on a trade, right? Not, let alone just have a 70 handle stop loss. So the 15-minute is going to close above this fair value gap, or this 15-minute fair value gap. We're obviously going to close above that. From an hourly perspective, we got 17 minutes before 10 o'clock. I think if I'm looking at somewhere around this midpoint, I think somewhere around here on the hourly looks nice before the big move higher. But there's a good chance that we are going to come up into this fair value gap here. Let's see what the macro has to offer. That's right. So if we look at ES real quick, let's plot those levels here real quick. We're on the daily. Midpoint of equilibrium for that is roughly around here as well. Similar to NQ, we have this shelf here, and then we drop. There's our manipulation. So we're looking for price to come up most likely somewhere around the previous day's equilibrium. I think that's where I'm looking here. We have an hourly fair value gap sitting there. Okay. I think that might have been what we were looking for here. At this point, we're looking and trying to determine, does price want to move lower and fill some of this liquidity here? Or not liquidity, but imbalances here. We got a 5-minute. There's a 15-minute down here. There's not an hourly. So does it want to come back down and reach lower and potentially even hit this breaker? Which that's a, let's look at the 15-minute chart there for a breaker here. It'd be right here. We've already looked at that twice. I don't know if it's going to want to come back down here. Okay, higher time frame target has been acquired. I want to see, if we're going to see higher prices, I want to see this inversion fair value gap or this fair value gap hold. I don't want it to break. I don't want that fair value gap to break. Because if it does break and closes below, I'm going to have to take that trade because that is a perfect trade. That's a legitimate setup to take to that low. Be roughly 67 handles. So we're watching to see if this fair value gap holds. And the reason why I'm willing to consider a short here is we hit London high. What did he say, Ted? So basically it's subjective. If it looks good or if it doesn't look good. Yeah. Yep. If you're on TradingView, there's two charts. My chart is NQM 2025. You'll see that on the top right. That's the number one, and then you need to make sure electronic trading hours are selected. Also need to make sure that your time zone is UTC4. If you have those, you should come out with the same numbers. You also might be looking at the micro contracts, not the mini contracts. anytime we do analysis, it's always looking at the mini contracts, not the micros. The black screen is what I take my executions on, and those are the micros. Gotcha. So what we're watching right now is the 4-hour candle is going to close in 9 minutes. And we want to see, is it going to close above this red box? This is a 4-hour fair value gap. So is it going to close it and close above it? What is it going to do? I think there's a lot of things that these brokers are having to figure out with this volatility. Some of the volatility we've seen on NQ is unprecedented. You look back at 10 years and look at the average candle 10 years ago. Yes, Byron, my black screen is a micro chart. "10 years ago, the range, 10 years ago, this one candle would have been the range. This 1 minute candle could have been the range of an entire day 10 years ago. The volatility has steadily increased over time. And with Trump and the tariffs, that has just made it really volatile. I don't know why I was saying that. What was I saying? I don't remember. Byron, TradingView has issues every once in a while where it will have one missing candle and then it fixes. I don't know why. Oh, that's what I was talking about. The brokers. The lag time I think is due to just the extreme volatility we're seeing. So currently we're waiting for more structure. We're inside this range right here. We had a decent setup right off the open that just did not play out for us. We played off that breaker to go long and got stopped out. We're stalling up here. And that 1 minute's holding up price right now. I do like the idea of us not running this high, basically making this a failure swing and coming down here, and a close below this would be attractive, and I would be interested in taking that to that low. ES also had a failure swing there so far. We'll see if it pumps through it right now or not. We got 2 minutes till 10 o'clock. All right, here's 10 o'clock. All right, looks like we're going to make that higher high. Found support at that 1 minute fair value gap. 10 o'clock candle being the catalyst to get there. ES also ran its high. Massive wicks, 100%. Yes, they are. I wanted short. My initial bias, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. Can I say NJ? We'll say NJ. My initial analysis, NJ, was that price, I wanted to see price move to the 5-minute, and then I wanted to see it move to London high. Depending on how it reacted with London high, my analysis was that we could come up to equilibrium. And I said I'm not going to be bullish unless we can find support above this level right here. This is the midpoint of yesterday's range. And so if we're going to stay bearish, we need to stay underneath this level here. We could also reach here and reject it. That's a possibility. But this is kind of my next key levels here, is this breaker in the midpoint of the range. While we're sitting here waiting, folks, I want to share with you my, we're going to go over a trading affirmation for the morning. This might not be large enough. You know what? Let me just put it on the screen here. Just copy that. And we're going to put that text right on that bad boy. All right. This is our trading affirmation for the morning. All right. I trade with discipline because I have the mind of Christ. I do not follow feelings, I follow my Father. I'm not here to fix anything. I'm here to follow my plan. You're not broken, is what I'm saying. If there's no setup, there's no trade. If I lose, I do not chase, I worship. If I win, I stay humble and am grateful. That is our affirmation for today. There's nothing here. We haven't really swept anything. So I don't know why we would reverse. I guess the only reason we potentially could reverse is due to this 30-minute order block. The hourly order block. I don't think there's a reason why we should reverse here. So I'm wanting to see price find support here. Yeah, there's a continuation breaker there, but I honestly like this breaker right there to the downside. We also will have a 5-minute change in state of delivery right here as well. And 3 minutes. So if it can give me 3 minutes, I'm willing to consider that. So the breaker and the 5-minute change in state of delivery is the same level. So we're waiting for basically 9 We're waiting for for 1010. At 1010, we can consider. I would consider this for a short. Also, if it does not give us a retracement, we can look at taking that inversion to the downside as well. This will be my final opportunity. If it gives it to us. And we, on the 4 hour, guys, we did close inside that 4 hour fair value gap. We closed inside this. And we swept that high. We swept that high there as well. Yeah. All right, so we are going to get this 5-minute change in state of delivery. Now we're looking for price to come back up into this level here, okay? Now, personally, I would like to see the exaggerated candle and then take the entry and see if I can get the entry up here. That's what I would prefer to give me just a better position, but I'm liking the structure of this. We have a small volume imbalance in here. I'm going to take that as an entry. And see if we can get this sucker to drop. This will be my last trade. ES is looking good. I like this low resistance liquidity that's sitting right here. See if we can run that. We have low resistance here, here, here. It's all over the place. I think this is one I want to see if we can get all the way down here to this low, 17,233, 17,230. Once we close below this level, once we close below this candle here, I will move my stop to break even. But not before then. The next thing we want to see it is close below this fair value gap. This is a big level right here. We want it to close below this, not find support from it. All right, I'm going to move my stop to break even. If I get stopped out at break even, I will be done for the day as well. My initial stop was at 17,520. Right above that, right above those down close candles. Technically, my stop loss should be above this swing high, if I'm being very specific. If we get close to it, I may consider putting my stop right above that, right there. Like right, let's give it a little, yeah. Yeah, I could have taken profit, but I want to see the move lower. I want to see that move lower. I'm not interested in sweeping that and just calling it. Yeah, it was 100 points, I'm pretty sure, but I mean, in context of the structure, it makes sense for it to move bigger. So it's either going to run in my favor or it's going to stop me out. We're coming up into the fair value gap right here. Look at the respect of that inversion fair value gap. Respected the midpoint of the consequent encroachment of that. Beautiful alignment of price there. That's good for me, is what I'm trying to say. That inversion was respected to the tick. Let's just see if it wants to continue lower. Looks like I'm going to get stopped out here, guys. Oh, dear Jesus, please. No, I know. Everything looks like it wants to go the direction that I want it to go. Let's go. Ugh. Oh. Oh no. Oh, the emotional. If I'm gonna be wrong, I want it to just go higher for me. No, no, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go use the restroom, folks. I'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, we're back. If I left my stop at the initial place, I would still be in the trade. I followed my rule. Once we ran this low down here, once we ran this low here, okay, I'm going to get rid of this 4 hour. Yeah. Once we ran this low right here, that is my cue to move my stop to break even. Because we created an order block on a higher time frame. So if we look at the 5-minute, did we create an order block? We did not close on the 5-minute. 2-minute, yeah. 3-minute, we created one as well. Does anyone know how to contact Apex for support? I've never traded this account until this morning, and it's negative 1,300 bucks, and I haven't taken a trade yet. Strange. Yeah, you'll just respond to one of the emails that you've received from them in regards to your accounts, and then you should be able to get that addressed. I'm considering taking this inversion right here. I know I said I'm done. I think I should be done. That last one was a little loss. Yeah. That's a bummer. I think what I'll do is I think I'm going to be done. And then I think I'll trade just an eval. I'm not going to take any more account trades. I can pause it. Give me a second, folks.
Is it okay if I bring this?
Sure. At this point, folks, this is our inversion that we're watching. Does this inversion hold so far? We've seen price stay in the discount portion as far as bodies closing. But if we close above it, we can use that as a reclaimed fair value gap towards this high. So I think what I will plan on doing, and this is will be an eval, is if we close above this, I'll consider taking that trade to the high. But until then, we're looking for price to continue to find support here, and the bodies have all been respecting it. This series of up close candles is really the one suspect right now. But even still, nothing looks as good as that initial trade that we tried to take to the downside. So because we're not seeing the follow through, it just tells me that we need to really consider this. Sitting here, no trade. And again, I'm done on my personal accounts. This will be just an evaluation trade. Pot number 2, Byron. That's insane. I do 1 cup. Except I don't do just filtered coffee. I do lattes. So I have an espresso machine and I just make myself 1 latte a day. Actually, I got this cup of coffee at about 6 o'clock this morning, so it's lasted me about 3 hours. I trade with discipline because I have the mind of Christ. I do not follow feelings. I follow my Father. I'm not here to fix anything. I'm here to follow my plan. If there is no setup, there's no trade. If I lose, I don't chase. If I win, I stay humble. $15-minute, 60-minute, no reversal, 30-minute. We did here, but that was at 8:30, and we've been just 10 a.m. We're looking for a 3-minute. Nothing. Nothing here, folks. Do you get a word of the day, Ted? Pot number 2. Well, yeah, if you could spend that much time, yep, you got pot number 2 coming on. I got 3 boys. I don't even know what that is. Did you mean Ephesians? All right, so technically we have invalidated this fair value, this inversion fair value gap sitting right here. But it wasn't clean and it wasn't aggressive, so we're sitting out. Ep and al. I don't even know how to say that word. Huh. Looking at the price action here, folks. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy at all. Epinelepsis. Epinelepsis? Epinelepsis. Repetition of the same word or clause after intervening matter. the coach used an epilepsis in his motivational speech. Winners we are, and winners always and will always be winners. So he repeats that over and over, is what you're saying. Yeah. Man, we've lost a lot of our language, I will be honest. My word bank is probably 1,000 words maybe. I probably use 150 very consistently. Sweep of liquidity here. Respected the inversion. We're on the 2-minute time frame right now. We're coming up during the next macro, so I'm looking for a reason for the next macro to run. We took this trade at 10:10. We were inside that macro. So, I mean, the trade we took, I have nothing negative to say about that trade. It was a great trade. I just wish it just kept going and I was able to get my 400-point move. That's what I wanted. I wanted a 400-point move. Didn't give it to me. All right, so we got a valid entry as it goes right now. For a 2-minute short, if you wanted to take a 2-minute, trade would go to right there. Does not look bad. I might look for a retest or an immediate rebalance and see if it will go after that. We got a 30-second. We just have a 30-second that closed right now. That's not bad. Right there. Back to the 2-minute. $15-minute, I mean, what do we got on the 15-minute? Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of it drawing down to this 15-minute fair value gap. You see a market maker buy model. Yeah. I could see that. I think I'm gonna take this here. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see if it can run these lows right now. This is an eval trade. I've closed all my other accounts.
Car key.
They should be in the car. They're in the car. I haven't taken it out. 10:45. This is the time, folks. This is the time. If it's not going to run now, when is it? When is it? I command you to drop.
Not in the car. You have to have it.
I don't have it, and I drove. All right, give me a. I can't right now. I'm in a trade. Go, please. It's not up there. You can look on the counters or look on my. Over there. Well, it's either going to stop me out or it's going to run in my favor. I don't know why you do. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to just keep turning around and around the other direction. Let's let it hit that. We'll let it reach up into there. Yeah, it's not. This isn't pretty price action, folks. There's the 2-minute retest. Here's the 2-minute retest that we were looking at. So we're going to sweep just those two and not anything else? Come on. All right, here's the injection candle right here. I'm going to drag this lower. I want to see this. Come on. Go. Drop, 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 drop. Oops, I don't want that. I don't want that. Took 5 off. Move that to break even. Let's see this drop. That's where we want it to go. This is the macro, Byron. This is what I'm saying. This is what we've talked about multiple times. You have a greater chance of it being a fake out than a run, or you have a greater chance of it running compared to a fake out. This is an example of that. We're right in that 11 a.m. macro, and now we're running all this liquidity here. It basically, instead of running at 10 o'clock and running, it says, no, we're not going to run at 10 o'clock. We're going to make more liquidity, and at the next macro, then we're going to run it all. So there's no way for me to really know if it was going to do that or not. And that's basically just the risk I carried. Well, if the first move, then that means 10 o'clock is always the Judas swing. And we had the Judas swing, and this would have been a continuation of that Judas swing at 10 o'clock. It just extended it for another hour before this big drop. This is what I wanted in my trade. This is what I was holding for. It just didn't quite give it to us. All right, so I'm going to take a couple of contracts off there. See if we can expand some more and run all the way down to the slow is where I want it to go. Going to take another contract off there in case we want to move higher and it doesn't want to take this low out right now. It's going to fill me in 3 positions to the downside or to the upside. I'll just exit out of those. I don't want to change it right now, really. Hit it. Do we want to hold it longer? Jency, really the answer is I don't want to take drawdown. So if I'm up, like this trade here, I'm up $1,000. Do I want that to go back and hit me at break even? No. So I'm just taking small profits along the way to secure it so that when it does retrace and I don't take a trade or take an entry, I'm at least positive. I at least have some profits to count for. You just don't want to do one full shot. You can, but you're probably going to blow more accounts doing that. Okay, so I'm taking small wins along the way. I'm going to take another small one right here. We'll get one, and then I'll have one contract left. I don't think, here, yeah, okay, you can see, good. You can see that. Yeah, I see ES took that low. And it'll probably run for that next one, right? We're watching this first fair value gap here. We're watching this fair value gap. I want to see that fair value gap not closed above. That's really all we're watching for. There we go. See it push through this low. I'll extend it a little bit. If it's going to run to that low, it's going to push past it at least a little bit. Made a lower low, but hasn't hit that low still. And we also are coming up to the new day opening gap right there. So we have a new day opening gap sitting right here. All right, we'll probably get this on this in 34 seconds or a minute and 34 seconds. We're going to have 11 o'clock form. $17,445. My target's 222. What is that? 445 minus 222. That'll be a 223 point move. This is my biggest move I've ever had right now. Hit it. Gonna take that. All right, so we got one contract left. 223 filled. One micro left. See if it wants to run. ES is about to hit its lows or hit those smooth levels there. We're going to move my stop to that wick high. If it wants to come back up and have a deeper retracement, by all means, I'll secure my target there. See if it wants to run any lower. See how far it wants to go. If I trade with 5 mini contracts, would you recommend starting with the full position and then taking profits incrementally, beginning with 3 contracts and adding the remaining 2 as trade moves? In that scenario, yes. Would I recommend you do 5 mini contracts? No. Maybe 5 micros. I mean, I'm trading micros on this eval, guys. This is an evaluation. I'm doing micros. Gotcha. And micros is M-I-C-R-O, my as in tiny. Macros, M-A-C-R-O, is a overview of the entire market. So macros is big, micros are small. So we made our low at 11 o'clock. There's a good chance this low's set for right now. There's a good chance that we're probably not going to see a move below this. Typically when I see a top of the hour low, especially after grabbing liquidity, these levels don't get ran right away. Now, unless we're in the only scenario that is different is if we're in a market maker sell model, and that sell model is in process and it's really wanting to expand. We have a few different levels here that's just making me think that it may not do it. We have the new day opening gap. We have the weekly low. So that's kind of my thought process, that there's a good chance this doesn't get ran, but I have my stop set at 17,309. Isn't that crazy? 309 is 90 points away. That's just crazy. I think I want to move my stop to this high. I'm pretty sure we're going to run, and I'll secure. I don't want to lose 90 points of profit. All right. Stopped out there. 223 handles on that trade. This is what I wanted for that 10 a.m. trade. That's what I wanted. Had the nice analysis. Closed my accounts. Took the eval trade. And we took that trade. It was right around here. 1043. Initially ran in our favor. Ran against us again. But then we got the drop. Yeah, see, there's the retracement. I knew we were going to probably retrace and not run that low. 11 a.m. Top of the hour lows after swing are pretty set. I mean, it's probably going to be a reversal, especially when you are sweeping liquidity like we did. Yeah, ES makes equal lows all the time, Ted. One of the reasons why I'm not a fan of trading ES is it will leave equal lows all the time. It's annoying. Yay. Great analysis. Good call on the 11 a.m. Good target overall. Beautiful trade. Man, only wish that it happened at 10 a.m. when I was in it with my funded accounts. Instead, I took a loss. Either way, guys, we're going to call it a day there. We're logging out of our accounts. We're not going to take another trade today. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to be grateful for what we've received, or what I've received at least. Hopefully you guys were made some profit on that. On my funded accounts, we took basically 2 losses. The second loss was because it didn't run in my favor. I got 100 points, but I didn't sell it, and I wanted to see it run more. So that's going to be it, guys. Thanks for being here. Today is Wednesday. It was a good trading day. If you're looking, if you do use funded accounts, guys, consider using Apex. I'm in the process of getting a Tradify account, and I'm also going to try Take Profit Trader. I'm going to be trying those out, and depending if I like them, if I like them and I want to continue using them, I will see if I can get a discount code for everyone. But I want to try them out, see if I like it, just get familiar with their rules and their process, and see if it's something that I can put my name behind, basically. So we'll be doing that over the next few days. We'll be back here tomorrow at 9:15. If you want to join us, we'd love to have you. Other than that, guys, stay safe, good trading, God bless, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.